I'm stronger. I'm smarter.
I am better.
I am better. I am better. Ah!
Tommy, did you want me to get more Dunkin' or dunk some nuts in your mouth? Rah!
Hello,
everybody!
And welcome back to the 1313 podcast, the grooviest podcast in the Star Wars universe. I'm Jacob.
I'm Jackson.
I'm Tommy.
To all you Regs, welcome back to the podcast. To all you Shinies, welcome to the podcast. This is the 1313 podcast. Before we begin, please make sure that you are subscribed to the podcast. Link is in the description below. It's like it's a red button. If it's red, then you're not doing it right. You got to click it. Also, make sure that you join a Discord. Discord is in the link in the description below. Join it if you want a really cool Star Wars community. We're selling merch. We're doing all sorts of fun stuff, and more links below. Make sure, just read the damn description.
All the links are below. Every single one of the links are below.
Just read that dang description.
And we do monthly giveaways at the Gungan Boss tier of our Patreon.
What? Really?
And for this month, we are going to be giving away Whoopam!
Whoopam! A Lego Starfighter of Obi-Wan Kenobi's from Star Wars Episode 2, Attack of the Clones. It comes with
Attack of the Sorority Rush.
It comes
Rush Bama.
It comes with Tanwi.
Dead. Tonwee's dead.
It comes with Ton. I'm gonna stop being cringe. Sorry, guys. It comes with Tanwi. If you want to win this set, then make sure that you join us in our Gungan Boss tier.
Yes. It's super cool, and we do monthly giveaways every month, hence why we're there monthly. So consider joining our Patreon. And yes, hey guys, how's everyone doing this week?
I'm all right. I don't have school tomorrow, so that's cool.
That's awesome. I wish.
Why?
Because Edinburgh has Mental Health Day.
I need one of those.
That's a good idea. Maybe I should utilize one of those.
I should also try to utilize one of those.
Mm-hmm. It's nice that it was built into our schedule.
But
that's the one thing for every other major I've done, aka only one, one of two. A break like that would be like, yes. The only thing that sucks about an art major is like once you start doing projects, the ball just kind of keeps rolling, and then whenever like you have like an extended break, it just feels like you hit a brick wall and then you're starting all over again. So yeah, it's kind of weird.
It's whack.
But all them business and communication students are gonna love it because they're gonna go home and do nothing after they already were home and doing nothing. Oops, I said that.
Oopsie poopsie.
That is what happens. That is what happens.
But yeah, so guys, I have a little icebreaker question just because I want to talk about it, and I don't think we'll get to talk about it in Tika's trading post. What do we think is going to get announced and revealed at HasCon for Star Wars?
Toys.
Do we have any predictions?
Toys.
I have a couple.
I think they're gonna reveal toys.
If I'm gonna
Very
be
nice,
completely
Jacob. Very
honest,
nice.
I feel like it's gonna be more of a show off of the anniversary of Return of the Jedi. Because remember they were pipelining all of that before, and there's so much of it.
Yeah.
I feel like that's going to be a majority of what the con is focused. And sure, maybe we might get a sneak peek at the new wave. And yes, you can hashtag bring fives into the Black Series all you want, but I'll have you know I'm the bigger fives fan than Lukeness, and I'll say it right here.
Jackson, you want to take your shirt off and prove it?
I will. We're not going to censor it, right?
No.
All right.
It'd be really funny if we did, though.
That would be pretty funny if we did. If you're a child, avert your eyes. Maybe you'll be the biggest five fan when you get a five on you. Boobs! Stop!
But yeah, Jackson literally has fives, number 5.
So I'll say, I'm the bigger fan, Lukeness. Message me. DM me. Slide in my DMs sometimes.
You know how
Okay.
old he is?
All right, anyways.
Yeah.
I think there's going to be a HasLab for the Vintage Collection revealed
Really?
at HasCon. Because I don't think they're going to do another Black Series one for another year or two. And I think that they are due for another TVC. If they were to do a Black Series HasLab, I guarantee would be the Mandalorian's Naboo Starfighter.
Do you see the Marvel Legends HasLab absolutely flop?
Well, it that was a weird situation. That was a really weird situation. It
Didn't
lost
it fail,
1,000
though?
backers in a day.
That's funny.
Oh.
So Hasbro did this weird thing they've never done before with a HasLab. So you know how there's like the tiers that like
Yep.
you have like a certain amount of time to, for those who don't know, the HasLab is like a project that won't come into existence unless a certain number of people buy the product.
It's crowdfunded.
You know? Yeah, it's crowdfunded. And so then after you fund it, it starts to get tiers. If you get more and more people, there's like different like extra unlocks that everybody will get when you get the product. And they did this weird one where they said if we get so many extra backers by this day, they called it like the early bird tier. It was only until a certain time you would get, who is the guy who is Ghost Rider? It's something Reyes.
Nicolas Cage.
Something Reyes.
Shout out to our hot mic video. We have an exclusive interview with the Nicolas Cage at the very end, so make sure that you check that out.
Fact checking.
Give me 2 seconds while I check this here.
I might like
Stutter.
I might like Marvel, but I don't know Ghost Rider that well.
Yeah, I don't know. It's like whoever the guy that is
Anton
Ghost Rider
Mary.
is, they were offering this extra figure that was him for like an early bird thing, and then it didn't get met. So they were like, oh, too bad. You don't get the extra figure now. And I guess people were so upset about it that like over 1,000 people unbacked the Engine of Vengeance. So then Hasbro was like, okay, guys, well, you'll get a swappable head and like an extra, like, because the figure was the same to begin with. It just had a different head. But people are still that angry about it that they're just refusing to back. And I'm going to be completely real with you.
That's Hasbro's
Why
fault.
y'all care so much about the tiers, though? And again, like, I don't want to get into a Rancor rant again, but it's like, why do you guys care so much about the little tiny extra things that come with the HasLab? I think the early bird thing was really stupid and cringe, but also at the same time, it's like, why do you guys care so much?
Well, that just
funny.
that
but I do think
it
was
just
a money
shows that
grab.
1,000 people wanted that figure. They didn't have it and they wanted it, and they were like, oh, I want this to go with this, and because they couldn't get it, they're like, I don't have them, because the price for it is like $350 for just a car, a toy car. That is insane.
Yes.
The tiers make it worth it to pay that much, because then you're paying a ton of money and then you're getting like the bonuses on top of it. And at this point, they're not really bonuses. They might as well be lumped into the payment of this thing, because it's a car. It's a toy car.
Yeah.
And it goes vroom vroom.
That's
Guess what?
arguably more
I have a
expensive than the snow speeder too.
I have a Lightning McQueen toy from around 2007 that was like $30, and it's bigger, it moves, it talks.
And how much was the Rancor? $350, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
People were complaining about the price of the Rancor, but I've seen nobody complain about the price of this or
Of a
the G.I. Joe
car.
Hiss tank.
Well, the Hiss
Being-
tank was cool.
Yeah, but it's just a tank. It's the same. It's just a vehicle. Like, you were paying $350 for a vehicle. The Rancor is huge. It is.
Yeah.
If we're going by size, that thing is so much bigger, and it's like a character. Like, it's got. Well, it doesn't, because it doesn't exist, and I'm gonna stop myself now.
Yeah, it does. We have it right here.
Before we. Oh yeah, actually,
We do.
Yeah,
we do have it.
We have a friend that works at Hasbro, and he flew me out, and I went into the warehouse and I stole this. So here it is. It is the Black Series HasLab Rancor. We have a Black Series Boba Fett.
He's even got the bust down drippy chain on right now.
Yeah, that's facts. He's showing his wild side. It's almost Friday.
Shut up!
From Shop GLD, use code 1313podcast at shopgld.com to get your iced out chains. Thank you to Hasbro for not filing a lawsuit against me for stealing this. I don't want to put this back.
Yeah, we'll just keep it on the table. HasLab Rancor. Wabam. There's Boba.
He ain't about to stand.
Wabam. He'll stand. You just gotta move his legs, bruh.
I don't want to.
Anyways, yeah, I think there's going to be a Star Wars HasLab project announced at HasCon, and I think they're going to show off either the, like you said, the first wave of the Return of the Jedi anniversary figures, or they'll show off maybe a couple new figures.
Because I would,
but
honestly,
not many.
Yeah, I would honestly assume if Return of the Jedi is going to be the big focus, they'll still sprinkle in another figure here and there. But if they sprinkle it in, I feel like they'll definitely be exclusives. Like, it'll be for Walmart, it'll be for Target, you know.
Yeah. Yep.
We'll have to see.
Anyways, or maybe a couple Andor figures.
I think that we're gonna get.
That would be nice.
I think that we're gonna get toys.
That very nice, Jacob.
Thank
Anyways.
you for that insight.
There was this. Here's a tidbit of real life today. So in classes we do these things called critiques for art pieces, and the teacher I have, I know he's not watching this. He's a jerk, but
Damn.
But we were doing this critique, and he gets to this one girl, and I think I mentioned this on the podcast. This is the girl that threw up on herself like the first day of school.
Yep.
So already a plebeian. So we get to her piece to critique, and it is awful. It is not good. Not measured at all. It's sloppy. And then like somebody just says something about it, and he goes, Are you gonna defend your work? And she goes, No. And he goes, he's like, So you have nothing to say about this. You don't feel good about it at all? And he goes, What a child. And he keeps going. He's like, Can we get somebody else? And I was like,
Oh my god.
That dude is ruthless. Absolute ruthless.
What a child.
What a child. So that happened. That was funny.
Damn. Well, Andor episode 4 came out.
It did. And it was
And-
really
I
it
didn't
was-
watch it yet. I'm kidding.
I
I was gonna be
no
like,
way.
oh,
I watched it twice.
I did watch it twice.
Gotta
But
get
yeah.
on
Still
that
do
twice
that.
grind.
Yeah, we still ice in my veins. Yeah, dude. So basically, Andor episode 4 came out. It was 51-minute runtime.
I was happy about
Not
it.
what I was expecting,
And it didn't feel like it either.
it
No.
came, it went by so quickly. I was so upset. I was
Yeah.
like, "Dang, man! I need more of the show. I need episode 5 to come out because it's going to be really, really good."
I find it really funny that the one show that pretty much nobody was looking forward to is like the best one.
It
I
seriously,
agree,
it has
yeah.
this episode has solidified my opinion that this has completely changed the way that I look at what Star Wars is capable of when it comes to these live action shows.
Yeah.
And I think a big part of it is that they're not confined to the volume 24/7. They do film on location in The Mandalorian sometimes, and same with Book of Boba, but for the most part everything is in the volume, and that's really nice. But having these huge gigantic set pieces in Andor is just something super special. And there were points where I was watching that episode where I was like, man, I literally feel like I'm in the movie theater watching like a feature film. That is how good the production level is on this show. And it makes me like not want to excuse poor CGI in Star Wars shows going forward, or stuff that just looks jarring, because everything in this show so far has looked tremendous.
Dialogue in this episode.
Yes.
So good.
It's okay because you can fill like the suits with like jargon and stuff to make them sound smart. The ISB like officers, dude, that dialogue, because not only like it was fluent,
Dude, and the head officer is basically your professor.
exactly. It was not only was it just performed perfectly, but it was just the structure of the dialogue, what they were saying, the fact that there was like subtle nuances to like little things throughout like the Star Wars galaxy that just like if you were really paying attention, you were just kind of like, oh, okay. It was
There
really
was so much of that too.
There were so many mentions of planets that were in other media.
I wrote them all down.
Go ahead if you want to list them.
Oh, do you want me to? Okay,
mean, 'cause
so
I was
had Arvala 6 was the first one.
Arvala 6 and Arvala 7 is in The Mandalorian.
Arvala 6, I'm pretty sure, is the place from the Mandalorian.
Nope. It's Arvala 7. That's what the build-up pack with The Mandalorian is named. Arvala 7. The Mudhorn one. What are you doing, my man? That's the snowy one, bruh.
Never mind.
That's Maldo Kreese.
Sorry.
It is.
My
I
fault.
guarantee it's
My
Arvala
fault.
7 in The Mandalorian. But
Okay.
it's cool they
My bad,
named
my
a
bad.
planet from the Arvala system.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then Ryloth was another mention.
Yes.
So that made me think of the Bad Batch situation. Then they mentioned the whole, like, there's increased, like, shipments to Scarif. And I was like,
I wonder what that is.
And I also really liked the mention that Cassian was on Mimban, which
Yeah,
meant that he
yes.
would have been on Mimban the same time
as Han Solo.
which means that Cassian also served for the Empire, which I never
as
saw
a
coming.
slave, though.
Well, he said he served in the military, and then
Oh,
who is
true,
the guy's
never
name?
mind.
Because we thought he was a senator this whole time, and come to find out, he just owns an antiquity shop.
Yeah, I don't even know his name. Everybody knows what we mean
Damn,
now.
I'll look it up. You guys.
He's
can-
Bootstrap Bill
Bootstrap Bill.
in
No, he is.
Pirates of the Caribbean.
No,
He's
but
Thor's dad. Well, not Thor's dad. He's
His name
Mighty
is
Thor's
his
dad.
name is Luthen Rail.
Luthen Rail.
Okay.
Rail.
So just Luthen. But no, see, now what I'm really intrigued about is the fact when Luthen was then talking about Minban, how it seems like it's an Umbara situation, how the Empire was fighting each other. So maybe we should get more news into,
The conflict on Mimban.
exactly.
Then we talk about stuff that was in his
Let's
shop.
get that out of the way. Because
Okay,
I think that's
okay,
the big
okay.
thing.
Okay.
And then other stuff too. But
First off, his assistant was Leia.
is it
Something that I completely missed.
I don't know. How did you guys miss it?
I think it's because
how-
it was 4 a.m. and I
watched
was
it
tired.
again.
when
and
Mon
then I didn't
Mothma walks in, he
understand
goes, "You know Leia," and I'm like,
Oh.
"You don't just drop Leia's name and have it be like a side character."
My bad.
I'm convinced that is Leia Organa, because he
That would be
he
sick.
says her name twice, one when she enters and one when she's leaving.
Oh, my bad.
So there's that. Inside the shop, there's this Sith armor behind
Yes.
Mon Mothma that is very much like the armor that Starkiller wears.
Especially the helmet.
Yes.
Uh,
it looks
in
almost like
The first
it.
first Force Unleashed game, if you decide to kill Vader and become the Emperor's apprentice, that is the armor that
It's
he
called
wears.
Sith Stalker armor.
Mhm.
That
And
had me geeking.
I saw that. I was like, does that mean that we can maybe see him in the Bad Batch wearing armor like that?
The thing about it though is it looked more like a ceremonial suit because it had these huge
Yeah.
spikes
It had
coming
the
out
spikes
of it.
and also had kind of like a, I don't know what the
A different shoulder
like a
piece.
comma,
Pauldron.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
a pauldron.
pauldron.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was the subtle differences, but it was mostly the same. There's also in the background of one of the shots behind Bootstrap Bill, there was a Sith holocron and a Jedi holocron on a shelf behind him,
I didn't even see
and
that.
then there was 2 stones in the shot
I was gonna
that
say
were
that.
the father and the son from Clone Wars.
So I'm going to say right now, there's no way that came straight from Mortis. I think that was like some ancient runes that early Force, like people who followed the religion of the Force in the very
Yeah.
beginning had made. But
Mhm.
it is absolutely a call
Mhm.
to the Mortis arc.
Yep,
That's
there
what I
was
thought was insane.
there was that. There was a Calicori in the background of the first shot, and then there was also that Wookiee helmet.
Yes, I was
Then
wondering if you
pointed
saw.
out which Wookiee that was though. Started with the P. I'm not even gonna try looking for it.
Fonz.
Okay.
I'm gonna be honest
Wookiee
with you.
Fonz.
Yeah, there was a Wookiee helmet, and then I like how he points out the Utapowan
Yup.
um
Damn,
like
check
clubs.
off everything I had. Sorry,
I thought
Chris,
no, you're good. I just I thought that was super cool. That it was so neat because it was such a world building moment.
Oh, there was
and it
also
really made it
Mandalorian
feel
armor.
cohesive.
The,
yes,
Mando
there was
armor.
old man. It looked like old school Mandalorian armor.
Yeah, because it was shiny.
Yeah, and then
It was also just like here. It wasn't like the full chest piece that comes down like below the rib cage.
there was
like,
also
high
the
chest.
Plo Koon mask, which I really don't think is specifically
there.
Plo Koon's.
I was trying to.
It's
look
like
for
off
it.
to the side. They made such a big deal about it in the trailer, but like it's like off
Maybe
to
we'll
the
see it
side.
again though.
hmm
Mhm.
Okay.
But I didn't see it in that shot. I was looking for it, but I think that's all that I saw.
Yeah.
It was crazy though. The whole thing
That
was
was
just nuts.
insane. I thought the whole the connection to the father and the son was like crazy because then like I was thinking like you like what if the Force is worshipped in that way and that was like an old relic that people like had and whatnot.
Yes. I mean, it was a good world building moment, and it makes Star Wars feel cohesive, but not in the same way as, oh, all the characters that we know and love are meeting each other at certain points in the timeline. Like it still feels like a magnificent galaxy. But then you have this one little moment where you realize how interconnected it really all is.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And I think it's
And it's not character connection; it's culture connection.
Yes.
That's what I like.
And I thought in the first episodes when the privately owned like security force was
When Jackson's security force.
was tracking
The IS
not ISB like those
no,
those
no,
blue
no.
the blue
Yeah.
suits when
I
they
know what
were
you mean.
tracking Luthen's ship. I was like, oh, like that's not good because he's a senator. They're gonna know he's actually not. It makes a lot more sense that he'd be traveling to all these planets. That's his alibi now. Oh, I own an antiquity shop. I had a deal going on. I was picking up this, that, and the other. And it just makes a lot more sense, and it helps him keep his identity a secret.
How do you guys feel about the Rebel fighters?
The rebel fighter. Oh, with like the
rebel
AKs.
people. I think the AK idea is actually kind of interesting, and I really want to see how they're fired to see like what it's like, because
Do you think it's more like a cycler rifle where it shoots a physical projectile, or
here's the thing that we've always struggled with in Star Wars. Ammunition exists, period. Like, clones complain about it, everybody
they're
complains
plasma
about it.
cartridges?
Yes, but we've never seen people really replace the plasma cartridge before, so
Yeah,
I
'cause it
want to
gets
see what
overheated.
that's like.
It's overheated.
Well, yeah, like when we play Battlefront, it's getting overheated. You never like reload the side cartridge thing. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I'm sure after a while, it's probably like any kind of battery. It burns out completely after a while.
Probably.
But yeah, I mean, I think that we're gonna have a situation where it's very much akin to Rogue One. But the difference is that in Rogue One, you get to love the characters all in one sitting. Where I think with this, I do like that everyone has their own personalities. I do also like that the leader, Val, that all of the people around her question her decision to bring Clem, as Cassian
Clem.
calls himself.
Okay, can we also state that is a stupid name?
Clem.
It's so dumb.
I think it's Clementine.
When he goes, he's like, pick a name for yourself. He goes, Clem. I'm like, really?
There's got to be a reason. There's a reason for that. There's
That
no
was
way
your
he just
first
picked
thought?
it for no reason.
It was probably like somebody that he
from his
knew.
village or
Yeah.
something
Maybe.
on Canary. But yeah, I think that it's cool that they actually questioned her decision making and they didn't just go along with it. I think it's good that they all have their own, like, you can tell they all have their own personalities and motivations. It's not just like mindless, faceless soldiers. I do think most of them, if not all of them, are going to die by the end of the mission.
Probably.
Though. Val is certainly going to die.
Oh, yeah.
But I do think that the other guy that's disguised as an Imperial is definitely Dunzo.
Mhm.
And there's at least one or two of them. I think the medic one might live, and I think that probably maybe the other two guys might live. The young guy definitely will die because he's like the
Only likable one.
idealistic one. Yeah,
That is
I've
true. The
seen him in
likable
something
one.
else before. What have I seen him in?
The Hobbit.
I feel like there's a show called The End of the Effing World. I feel like it's the same actor.
I have no idea. Dude.
No idea.
It's on Netflix. Really good show.
I don't
No,
watch
but
a lot
like,
of Netflix stuff.
see, when I was really thinking about it too, especially with the trailer, I feel like we only have action shots from when they're robbing that garrison area, and then a select few more from Coruscant, and then what I will consider that there's going to be more flashbacks eventually to what they're going to recall as the Dark Times, because we have the flashback of clones, and stormtroopers are already in the Imperial Navy right now, and we have the...
This is still the Dark Times, though.
I don't think it is, though.
It is because Obi-Wan, there were stormtroopers, and that's considered the Dark Times. The Dark Times is before the rebellion starts.
True.
So that whole period of
We're
time...
at the end of the Dark Times.
Because I was gonna
right
tie
now.
into the Imperial officer figure that we got. That's the Target exclusive. That's the Dark Times version.
Well, he's from the flashback. I'm guessing he's going to be from some flashback
Oh
sequences.
yeah, I think he'll be in one of the clone ones. To be honest.
I was gonna say the figure that we got isn't accurate to the actual uniform that we see this guy wearing.
We haven't seen him yet.
Well, no, I'm saying like because he's an officer, the guy that's kind of like the turncoat in the Rebels thing. His cape is attached at the shoulders, but it is sewed into the front of the tunic. So
I think for the figure, they probably just did it so that he could raise his arms up.
well, no, it's not even like because it's like different colors and stuff. There's like literal like inseams that you can see. The belt comes and then there's a flap that goes under the belt. It looks completely different than the figure. So the figure looks like they just took like an officer body and they made a new mold for this cape and they slapped it on there, which I don't care that much. It's just an Imperial officer. I thought it was like, it's different.
No, but
Maybe it's an
like...
Echo situation and it changed.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they do go off early designs for a lot of this stuff, especially to have the figures ready to go when the show is coming out.
I appreciate it. I
Mhm.
like it when I actually get the stuff early.
I think we need to have a moment though to talk about how cool it was to see Coruscant and the sweeping shots of the cityscape, and for me that was like almost an emotional moment, like to realize we're actually back here. After so many years,
we finally
thinking we're never going to get it in live action again. Here we are, we're on Coruscant. It felt like Coruscant. Every moment of it it was beautiful.
Something that was cool was when we see the guy that looks like Jackson going down the elevator. Cyril
Karn.
Cyril. So when the doors open to the elevator, I thought this was really cool because in the Thrawn books, there's a lot of the first one especially. There's a lot on Coruscant with Arinda Price, and there's one part in the book like where she gets like stuck in the elevators and it goes down and the doors open and she's in a hallway. The hallways that like it opened up to were exactly how I imagined it. Like, exactly. And I was like, yo. Like, it was weird seeing it, because it was like, it went from a book to my mind, and it was like, it's never had like any like pretense to what it should look like. So I thought that was kind of like a deja vu, kind of like, whoa moment.
See, the elevator scene for me was the biggest, like, really? For all of Star... That was the worst part of the episode that took me out of it, and here's why. When he walks into the elevator, there is 3 beeping sounds of him pressing the buttons, but he presses the buttons twice, and then when he presses the buttons, he clips it and misses them. Like, he goes to press the number 2 because the combo, he presses 9, 2, and when he presses the 2, his finger is above the 2, and it just, like, goes forward. Did you not see that?
I didn't notice
No.
that.
And the button doesn't, like, sink in or anything. He just goes, like...
Well,
It was like the
these are
most...
Star Wars buttons, Jackson.
I just felt like it was the most laziest aspect of the show.
I thought you were going to talk about how, like, when
That's
he's
my
going down
only
the
critique.
elevator, the light doesn't, like, reflect off his face. Like, it doesn't show, like, there's any, like, shadows being casted on him, because you could see them bleeding in through the window of the elevator, but it's not reflecting on him. I thought you were going to say that, and I was like,
No,
damn,
but
bro,
the
when
buttons,
did
he
you...
was just like... I was like...
I found
what?
it funny that he got to his mom's house, and she was like...
And then, what are you looking at?
What are you looking at? Go away!
I was like... Then he walked in without taking his bags.
Dude, and not to mention, I wonder what's going to happen next. I think he's going to join, like, the Imperial, like, Naval Academy.
I think
or
he's gonna be
something.
ISB.
He might be. I think they want him because, like, he was the one that tried to dig up what happened, and he's the one who tried to take action. I think the ISB is going to be interested in
That
that.
chick will take him.
Or
It
they're
would-
just going to use him for information.
Yeah.
It would be really cool if he, joined the Navy, and then it was, well, Thrawn.
Well, the mention of Scarif just was like for me, I don't know why that made me think of. I think it made me think of Thrawn because at this point in time would have been very near when Thrawn and Krennic were kind of vying for who was going to get the
Yeah.
funding
Mhm.
in Thrawn treason.
Well, yeah, so that's happening. So this also means that this is a little bit after Rebels.
No, this is before Rebels.
This is before
Rebels
ever exists.
starts 18 years into the Empire's rule. This is 15.
Oh, shoot, yeah.
So at this point, the first Thrawn book is more than likely happening or has
Yeah.
already happened.
So Thrawn already exists in the Navy in some capacity.
Thrawn is
probably.
in Star Wars at this point. So, but we're just
If he was in the show, though...
Dude, if he was in the show, I would, like, blow up. Like,
I don't know why it also made me so excited.
I would jump
to
off a
see
bridge.
The ISB HQ, in the in like on Coruscant. I thought that was a super cool moment.
I have a lot to say about that too. If just about like the intelligence aspect too, because I thought it was really interesting. Because when that like the dude who's in charge was arguing with the girl and then the other guy about like the whole like reasoning, like she's seeing patterns like popping up
The
as well and
jurisdiction
identifying trends. But then he's all like, but you need concrete evidence and blah blah blah, which kind of made me think about like my own studies as well, like for like intelligence and how like that's like a I was really looking forward to talking about this.
Well, let's hear it.
Continue.
Lay it on me, fella.
Just about how like I'm gonna change your life tonight.
Aw, you're proposing?
Worse.
Uh-oh.
No, but how like intelligence is all about like finding trends and whatnot to begin with. But then the biggest thing that we consistently suffer from is trying to have like accurate concrete sources. So although she has found that there are these initial trends within the information, she's doing it right. But this dude is then so obsessed with having like such concrete evidence. You just can't take that sometimes. You have to go off what
See,
you're given.
I took that as he was just doing it so she'd be not in his business.
No,
like
I
he
agree.
wanted to do it the lazy way.
Yeah, because then that was the other thing as well, is that starts the Empire's downfall, is that they're refusing to look at trends because he wants to dismiss it and sweep it away because he's lazy. He doesn't want to see these trends happening, so then when actual rebellion action happens, they're like, how did this happen? We never saw it coming, when really it was there all along.
I mean, the Empire got complacent, and this is kind of what it's showing. I mean,
Oh, exactly.
Cassian says it in the first few episodes that they're so fat and
satisfied.
They're complacent. They really think that, you know, because there's been like no opposition for so long that they have nothing to worry about.
Mm-hmm.
I was totally gonna say something, but I completely forgot.
Yeah, we also get introduced to this new character who is definitely going to be a recurring character in the show. I think that she's going to be the one. I don't know her name, but she's going to be the one that uses Cyril, I predict, to get
That's what I
into
was saying,
Ferrex
yeah.
and understand what's going on. I think he's going to try to come forward to the ISB and give information. And I think that she is going to be the one who kind of uses that as her concrete evidence.
No, I agree.
I find it funny when they're getting fired at the beginning of the episode. Like the guy's like, "But I didn't do anything." He's like, "I don't care."
And then the sergeant's standing. He goes, and the dude's like, "Really?"
I
That
think
was
it's
pretty funny.
I think
to
it's
me.
like stupid that the Empire can fire employees of another company. Like I get they're subcontracted, but it's like y'all can really just fire these people if you
because they
want.
rule it.
I mean, I get that, but like it's kind of stupid. I'd be kind of mad if I was an employee there, just knowing that some
Tell me
random
something.
dude.
I'd be really upset if they came in and they told me you're fired.
I'd be mad, bro, because it's like you're not even part of my company. You just like showed up. Yeah, you're done. You don't.
But no
work
one
here
can
anymore.
challenge them to. What are they gonna do? Apply for workers' comp?
It's basically the
Join a union?
Christopher
Joining
Columbus of Star
They
Wars.
got no unions.
Yeah, I'm. The whole idea, Aldani, I was worried that it was gonna not feel like a Star Wars planet.
Really?
It felt like very Scotland. That's like the vibe I was getting.
Scotland forever.
In
But-
my opinion, it was like the remnants of like people who worship the Force.
Yeah, that's the vibe you got.
Yeah.
Now I got like very like Scottish shepherds and stuff like that from it.
Weird.
But it was cool to see. I mean, I'm excited to see what the Imperial complex looks like and this
Mhm.
whole plan that they have going. It's a really bad plan.
Oh no,
It's a
I
pretty
agree.
awful,
It's
terrible plan.
Before I forget,
We're
I
gonna
have
die.
to mention as well, but I feel like something for me that like really set the tone of the show was when the guy was trying to beg on like Cassian's behalf to that girl and whatnot to like let him like be a part of the group, and then he like literally just like lashes out and like yells at her, and I just sat there for a second the first time watching. I was like, whoa, like
Listen to me.
yeah, just because he was like so like like trying to get people to work together before, and he just like snapped and it was serious.
I think
He's like,
it's
"Look
because
at me."
I think, and the same thing with Mon Mothma though. Everybody's afraid to get caught, and everybody's so caught up in not getting caught and letting
Yeah.
things go to plan, they're not willing to take any chances. And I think
Mhm.
Luthen realizes that we're at the point now where we just have to start taking chances. We can't be sneaky about it anymore, because like with Mon Mothma, all of her like people are getting switched out. She can't
Yep.
trust any of her underlings anymore, and that's because the Empire is catching on to what the Senators are doing, because the Senators are a potential problem for the Empire
Yeah.
and keeping control of the galaxy. So I think that for her, she's scared. She literally is like, I can't deal with this.
Mhm.
But for Luthen, it's like, please, like we have to start taking chances. We have to start like taking out the Empire, like piece by piece. It can't just be these dumb little missions that we've been doing, where we rob this or rob that. It has to start being bigger.
No, I agree. Can I also talk about how Mon Mothma's husband's just a jerk?
Dude,
I don't
my
even
man,
like that guy remotely.
she better off without him.
All men are
better off
pigs.
She's
without
better
him.
off.
Not with
All
me,
men
though.
are pigs.
All men are
better
pigs.
off with me.
All men are pigs.
Better off with me.
Better off with Tom. Give her to Tom.
He's a pig.
Mommy Mothma.
Absolutely not.
Absolutely yes. Absolutely yes.
No.
Tommy's like,
Mm-mm.
no, never mind.
Well, you got some for gingers?
Perhaps. Can we not?
I just
I
got
thought you
I just
wanted
got
to.
curved
You
on the
ain't-
podcast.
You ain't no Mommy Mothma. Leave me alone, man.
I'm Papa Mothma.
Whoa.
Whoa.
Yeah, dude, but her husband is not it.
His
It was-
hair is whack. His
Where's
drip
my
is
birthday
whack.
present? Where's my Shut up, dude.
He really said, "Where my hug at?"
I was just about to say, where my hug at? Hey, your wife, where my hug at? Oh, shoot. Oh, you're going to be late to class. His drip, whack. His hair, whack. His attitude, whack. The way he smiles, whack. The way he talks to her, whack. Us, we're tight as heck.
You know the vibes.
It's the real Christian counselor way of saying that.
I hope that we get to see an extended section of the show dedicated to the Senate building, though, because we
Yeah.
see shots in the trailer of the
Yep.
Imperial Senate building,
See the
and there's that
Emperor.
huge Imperial cog at the bottom. I don't care if we see the Emperor or not. I just want to see what the Senate looks like, because we know that 5 years from this point is where the Senate gets dissolved in A
Yep.
New Hope. I want to see how bad it's getting, because a lot of these leaders are just hollow leaders that have either been forced to buy into the Empire
Yeah.
like threatened to, or they actually are like buying into the Empire.
No, I agree. I think that's going to be awesome.
I want to see, like, maybe we'll see some governors or some moffs. I kind of want to see what's going on with the Empire right now, like how the organization or lack of works. And I don't know, something about, I just want to see the political aspect of it. I want to see what it really looks like.
Yeah, because now we're finally getting all of our questions answered about when the Empire arrives. What happens to the clones? What happens on Coruscant? What happens to the Senate?
We're just getting that
Like,
Dark Times gap.
We're
filled.
getting all of this lore and information we wanted for so long that's building the universe bigger and bigger every time. So it's perfect.
All we got to do now is we got to have enough content so we can start watching episode 1 and get all the way to episode 9 without missing a single second of time.
Nah,
No.
that'd be like a Mr. Beast challenge to watch all that stuff chronologically.
Dude, I would.
No, but like even then, just like the fact that we got the ISB building after ISB is talked about in so many different things this entire time, now we see it. Now we see how it's run, and it's like, it's awesome.
It's super cool. And again, like seeing the antiquity shop and seeing the different levels of Coruscant, like the mid-range levels where like kind of like your average people live. All of it to me is just awesome world building. And again, like when I finished the episode, I literally was like, I need to watch the 5th one now. Like I wish I could just turn on the 5th one. But
Yeah.
how do you guys?
I can't binge shows ever, but like whenever shows are coming out new and they're fresh, I'm like, I need it now.
Yeah. I watched it at 4 just because I woke up, and then I
Same.
watched it for dinner again, and that's when I took the notes. But like we said at the beginning, the 50 minutes went like that. And even though it wasn't an episode focused on action, and it was just this world building and the dialogue and everything else, like piecing it together to set it up,
So
it
interesting.
was still good and interesting. It had my
Really.
attention the entire time.
I didn't get bored for a
No.
second. And that's the thing though, is I know in the Discord, Jackson, you made a comment saying that like some people might find this episode boring because
Yeah.
I don't think a single blaster gets shot the entire episode,
Nope.
does
Nope.
it? No, it's Star Wars, but it's a different kind of war.
Exactly.
Like this is the underbelly. This is we're establishing what's going on, but it
Star
wasn't
Wars
boring.
Assassin's Creed.
Oh my gosh.
But it wasn't boring though. It really wasn't.
No, it wasn't.
I was there for every second of it, and I think that that's probably what's turning people off to the show. It's got great ratings. Like big Star Wars fans are a big fan of it. Older Star Wars fans are a big fan of it, and the critics are a big fan. But I think with the younger audience, again, like we talked about last week, they're used to TikTok, which is quick. It's you know, it's short,
But
it's
then
action
again,
packed, it's like it's visually pleasing.
This isn't made for a younger audience.
That
that is
is
very
true.
evident. This
It's
isn't
made for the older audience.
which is different because Star Wars is like a generational thing. It's always like made for all generations. So to see something like this actually be made in a more
It's
adult
different.
frame.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's different, but I like it because I think we had a discussion before whether or not we would like to see like a more adult side of Star Wars, and I think we were like, no, I don't want it. But now we're like,
getting it.
And now I'm like I want more.
mhm,
And I shouldn't.
mhm.
But I think, I don't know, like, I think that this show is just different. If you're somebody who's really only seen The Mandalorian and some of the newer films, and you're more of like a surface level Star Wars fan, you're probably not going to like this show as much as
Like the Mandalorian.
people who are like us and have read visual dictionaries and like we want to know the little tiny details.
Yep.
Like for us, seeing cup of blue noodle in the first like take out Chinese food in Star
That's
Wars,
so
like that was a
funny.
huge deal for us because it's like something that you never think about, you know,
Mhm.
and it's like something that you always wonder, and it's cool. I mean, I like it, and I really am excited to see where the next episode goes.
Yep,
Exactly.
I'm loving this. I'm loving this.
It's the
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
I'm loving it.
Mm-hmm.
I've pretty much exhausted all my
Yeah,
comments on
no,
the episode.
that's all we could really
Yeah.
chat about, I feel like, for today.
It's a good episode.
A little shorter, but that's okay. We're in a Star Wars news drought now. Not a content drought, but definitely a news
Mhm.
drought.
So
Just
there's
fun.
nothing for that right now. But thank you guys so much for watching this episode.
Thank you, everybody.
I have a thing I want to reach out to the community about. So I'm looking for I want to get artwork done for the channel. I want like I've reached out to a ton of artists on like Instagram, on Reddit and stuff. I haven't had any bites so far. So
Action display.
action display. Yeah. But I want to get my feelers out, see if there's any, because we have a decent community right now.
Yes.
If you guys
community.
If you guys find yourself artistically inclined and you like cartooning or you like things like that,
SWC Doodles, who follows us, does some cool Star Wars.
please check us. Shoot us a DM on Instagram. That link is in our link tree, which is linked below.
Indeed.
I'm trying to get some artwork done. I'll let you know what we're looking for, and we're going to pay you. This isn't like a just give us artwork. This is going to be this is going to be a commission thing. So if you guys are artistically inclined, please hit us up. But with that, make sure that you are subscribed to the 1313 podcast. Leave a like, leave a comment, let you know what you thought of Andor, how do you like Andor so far? Do you like it? Also, other links in the description below. We got Instagram, we got TikTok, we got Twitter. I almost said
everything.
I almost said Facebook. I don't know why.
We got MySpace.
We do not have
We got
Facebook.
LinkedIn.
We got Be Real.
I hate that so
13,
much.
13,
Be
be
real.
real. That would be so stupid. That would be like abysmal.
Guys, wait, can you take my picture for my Be Real?
Guys, I'm gonna totally be real and genuine. Everybody pose for the Be Real.
I hate Be Real so much. I hate it so much.
I'm officially a boomer because I hate on social media platforms now.
Yikes.
That's alright.
Also, make sure if you want to support us above and beyond, join the Patreon. 3 tiers of ways of supporting us. If you want to be entered into our monthly giveaways to win that awesome Lego set. I don't know where it is right now, but it's somewhere around here. Here it is.
Let me ban a white.
If you want to win this lovely Lego set, make sure that you're in the Gungan Boss tier in the Patreon. But thank you guys so much for watching. We'll see you guys next week. Bye,
Bye, everybody.
Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun. Hum da da hum da da hum dum dum da. Hum da da hum da da dum dum da dum da ba do ba do ba do ba do. Ba-do ba-dum ba-ba-dum ba-dum 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 dum. Hum da-dum hum da-da hum dum 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 da-dum hum da-da hum dum dum hey hum da-da-dum da-da-dum dum hum da-dum da-da-dum da-da-dum dum da-da-ba-da-dum dum da-ba-ba-da-ba-da.